Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the divisibility of integers. First of all, we have to understand what do we mean by the divisibility of two integers. Suppose if we have two integers a and b. I take two integers a and b. If I divide b with this integer a, then we can write b as a product of this divisor and some another integer, or we can say b is said to be divided by this integer a if we can write b as a product of divisor and some integer, while x belongs to z. That means x is also an integer. That means if a divides b, then we can write b as a product of that divisor and some another integer, and it is denoted by a divides b. It is just a denotation. It can be written as a, it is divides b. That means here a divides b means the a is the divisor and b, we can say b is a multiple. For example, 2 divides 6, right? Because 6 can be written as 2 into some integer, and that integer is 3, because there exists an integer 3 such that 6 can be written as 2 into 3, right? And it is a divides b, it is just the symbol for the divisibility, right? Now there are some properties related to the divisibility of integers. The first property is if a divides b, मतलब अगर a किसको डिवाइड कर रहा है b को, then a divides bc, where c is also an integer. मतलब अगर a किसको डिवाइड कर रहा है b को, तो a bc को भी डिवाइड करना चाहिए, राइट? अब हम इसको देखते हैं. Since a divides b, we can write b a into some integer by the definition of divisibility, right? Now if I multiply the equation both sides by c, then it will become bc is equal to a into c into x, right? I multiply this equation both sides by c. Now this becomes bc equals to a, since c is an integer, x is an integer, their product will be also an integer. तो मैंने c और x की जगह y को डिनोट किया, दैट इज ऑल्सो एन इंटीजर, राइट? ना अगर आप यहाँ पे देखें bc इज इक्वल टू a इंटू वाई, यानी bc को मैंने लिखा एज अ प्रोडक्ट ऑफ a इंटू वाई. बाय द डेफिनेशन ऑफ डिविजिबिलिटी इट इम्प्लाइज दैट a डिवाइड्स bc, राइट? क्योंकि अगर हम यहाँ डेफिनेशन को फिर से वापस करें, जिस तरह 2 divides 6, I can put 6 as 2 into 3. Here it is bc is equal to a into y, right? While y is an integer, that means a divides bc. It's like this. If 2 divides 6, it implies 2 divides 6 into 3, which implies 2 divides 18. That is also correct, right? Here I have taken 3 as an integer. That is the first property of the divisibility. Now coming to the second property, that is if we have three integers a, b and c, right? And I take a not equal to 0. Suppose if a divides b and b divides c. If a divides b and b divides, it implies that a must divide c, right? Here, since a divides b, by the definition of divisibility, we can write b it as divisor into some integer x, where x is an integer. Similarly, b divides c, by the definition of divisibility, we can write c it as b into y, where y is an integer, right? Now since c is equal to b into y, लेकिन b का वैल्यू तो हमने निकाला है, b is equal to a into x, तो हम यहाँ पे b का वैल्यू इंसर्ट करेंगे. वी विल गेट c is equal to a into x into y, right? Since x is an integer, y is an integer, their product is also an integer. तो ये जो हमारी इक्वेशन है रिड्यूस हो जाएगी, c is equal to a, और इन दोनों के बदले में कोई और इंटीजर लेता हूँ z, where small z belongs to this z, that is an integer. और यहाँ पे हम देख सकते हैं c को हमने लिखा a into z. By the definition of divisibility, it implies that a divides c, right? It is like this: if 2 divides 6 and 6 divides 12, which implies that a divides b, b divides c, which implies that a must divide c, which implies 2 divides 12. That is also correct. ठीक? I hope you have understood this divisibility and its properties. Thank you so much.